If I told you that I had to go through so much just to install one thing for a PS2, you'd probably say I was an idiot. Salutations and greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Since everybody and their dog is doing a computer tech video nowadays, I figured, why might as well throw my goggles into the mix with this one. So today, I am going to be installing 3 operating systems on this iMac, and then we're going to be installing PlayStation BBN Navigator on a hard drive for my PS2. Originally, I was going to be using a Switch for this, running Ubuntu, but that apparently decided to not work. So we're going to be having to do a triple installation sensation, as Crazy Ken would put it. Also, I apologize for the terrible camera quality on the computer side of things. Special guest appearance by my Kinect, because that's the only camera I have that has a tripod. Right, so here's the order of attack. First, we install Mac OS X Leopard, because that's the operating system that this computer came with. And then, we're going to install Windows XP, because, you know, why wouldn't you tinker around with XP on this old boy? Because this is one of the first iMacs I've ever seen that could run Windows. And then, for the third operating system, we're going to install Linux Mint. So, that out the way, let's get started. Now, there's a couple of things we're going to have to do in order to, get this up and going. First of all, we need to wipe the hard drive because the way I had it set up was I had a Mac OS X partition and a Windows XP partition. Now, I thought I could just easily, uninstall the Windows XP partition, after I install everything, but apparently, can't do that, because for some reason I need a newer version of Mac OS X to do that, which makes absolutely no sense, considering the fact that, anything past Snow Leopard and this thing starts, acting a little screwy. But then again, that's mainly because the only RAM upgrade I have in this thing is a 1GB stick. I've been meaning to get a full 6 GB into this thing, but I haven't had any reason to. Same goes for upgrading the CPU and maybe the GPU in this thing. There's just no reason for me to do it. And here we are, at the setup screen. How lovely is that? Welcome to the Mac OS X Leopard installer. We're not going to need that yet. First of all, you need to go to Disk Utility, aka the worst thing ever. You need to erase this drive. And for the record, I have backed up all the files that I do need, because I actually use this iMac as my my NAS, a network attached storage, for those of you who don't know. It's a little silly to, use this big old hunk of junk, but, it works. Now we're gonna partition this thing. We want 3 partitions. We want to divide all of this evenly. So, let's try get as close as possible. 3 partitions. Macintosh, Windows XP, Linux Mint. Apply all that, and we go! Please read about this after yeah, sure. There we go. There's our drives. We want Macintosh. Now we're gonna customize this. Printer drivers, don't need that. Additional fonts, don't need that. Language translations, don't need that. X111, don't need that. Just the 6 GB. That's all. Alright, now hit install. And we're off to the races. And now we wait. And since we are installing this over a disk drive that's going over USB. Oh, this is gonna take a while. And I know what you're saying. Oh, optical media bad. Shut up, it's what I use. You know how often I get to use optical media? Answer, not that much. You can't see it on here, but we've got about 19 minutes on the clock, so it'll be more like 5 to 10 business days. Go ahead, Mac OS X, just take your time. I've got all that in the world and then some spades. I remember the first time we actually got this iMac and we were setting everything up. It was the spring or summer 2007. My parents came home with this machine and I was like, oh my god, this is insane. We've actually leveled up. For the time that I was growing up, we had those old iMac G3s in our school. It was the color ones, the Bondi Blue, the Graphite Gray, the Cherry Red, I think they called it. The old ones that had like the nice clear shell with the color sides. Those are amazing. I loved those. And then eventually we upgraded to these, operating both not just Mac OS X Leopard, but also Windows XP, which is really cool. Like, I didn't even know you could do that. And it also made me think, oh, well, if you can run Windows XP on one of these, then you can run Mac OS X on a Windows XP machine. I was half right, but I was not right in the way I thought I was. See the Hackintosh scene for that. But yeah, it was awesome. Just seeing one of these in my own home, getting to hear that awesome startup music, like, after you install it. Oh my god, it was awesome. And I remember having a lot of fond memories using this thing, mainly with Spore. I freaking love Spore. Yeah, I know, it kinda not that good upon release, but man, I love just creating stuff. And really, when you boil down, that's all you really need out of Spore, just to create shit. Yeah, it's really nice to see that this whole thing just still works to this day, like, some odd years later. I always say this about older Mac products, like, this stuff lasts. It's honestly amazing. Alright, we should almost be done on this, so, yippee. Alright, install succeeded. Let's reboot. And get ready to hear the sweet, dulcet tones of the installation tune. God, this tune just sounds so good. And look at some speakers. Like, this was really good for 2007. Which, I mean, makes sense, because this machine was, like, meant for, like, you know, multimedia streaming and whatnot. Like, you know, pictures, music, video. It was awesome. I love that part. Yes. We're in Canada. Do I have an Mac? No. Enter your Apple ID. No thanks. Registration information. No thanks. Create your account. Yes. We don't need a paper. Actually, you know, we should probably put a password down there anyways, considering I'm going to be using this as an ass and Windows kind of needs a password. There we go. Perfect. Don't forget to register. Eat my ass! Alright, and now with that done, here we are, on the desktop. I'll probably update this later to Snow Leopard, just so we can, you know, get some extra goodies out of this, but for now, we're not gonna do that. Let's eject the disk. Now, we'll swap this out for Windows XP. Now, we need Boot Camp running. I think this was in the utility folder. Boot Camp Assistant, continue. Ah, shit. We might have to do this manually. In that case, we'll shut her down and then reboot her. In fact, I'm probably certain this is exactly how I had to do it. Suddenly it all makes sense. Expecting configuration. Give me that blue screen. Hey, look at that Windows setup. Beautiful. Hit enter to set up XP. Now, in the event this doesn't work, I'm just gonna say screw Mac OS X, let's just install Linux Mint, and then I can, I don't know, set up an SMB server later on. Alright, let's reboot the computer. Oh shit, there it is! Windows XP! Oh, you'll love to see it. Oh, there we go. Look at that. An exciting new look. Well, it's not so much new anymore, but it's still exciting to look at. Setup will complete in approximately 39 minutes. Well, that's about 4 to 5 business days. Okay, regional language settings. Enter your product key. Ah, shit, I still have that. Name that Windows XP 113. That's good enough. Oh, look at that. Look at that animation. Shame we don't have AI right now. You also have to imagine the boot sound. I'll put it in post. Beautiful. And look at that. It shows us the start menu. The lovely start menu. Now, take our Mac install disk again and use that to install the drivers. Oh, there it goes. Boot Camp installer. Yay. Accept. Install. And now it'll start installing the drivers. 30 days left for activation. We will deal with that another day.
Alright, there we go. Let's finish that up. Jesus, that is a lot of tell. There we go. We're done. Max resolution Windows. Back into Macintosh. Now comes the hardest part that I've been dreading for at least an hour or so. Installing Linux. Alright, let's just get the tape. And we can't resize that. Oh, shit. So, it's been a bit. As it turns out, I can't exactly triple boot the system in a way I wanted to. So we're gonna have to say, screw XP and Mac OS X, we're just gonna have to install Linux. Shit. Okay, so the new plan is as follows. We have to wipe the drive, and then we have to install Linux onto the drive, because, God forbid, we do anything correctly now. And just a reminder, we're doing all this to install something for a PlayStation 2. Have I hit maximum brightness levels yet? I think I have. This could have been so much easier if all of this was just able to be done on Windows. Hate the fact that we just completely wasted at least an hour of time just to get the damn thing to work. And then we shut her down, power back on. Might be working. Hey! Never mind, we didn't have to do the boot manager thing at all. Sweet. Well, I'll see you in about 5 to 7 business days. Oh! Hey, it's doing a thing. About damn time. We have a cursor. By God, we have a cursor. And here we are. Linux Mint. How fun is this, eh? I can't say I'm too thrilled about having to just scrap the whole triple boot operating system idea, but whatever. People are probably cheering in the comments saying like, yay, he's finally using Linux. Welcome. I don't really feel welcome. Oh, it's done. Installation is finished. Restart now! Well, I'm glad to know it didn't destroy the USB drive, because I'm going to need this later for, like, everything else. I've been at this for nearly 2 hours now. This is what happens when you try to have a great idea and just it does not work at all the way you want it to. Alright. Here we are. Linux. Minty. Linux Mint. What are your new operating system? Yay! Yay! Oh wow, you can just customize the whole thing. Wow. Do we have anything we can install? Oh yeah. Should probably connect the Ethernet cable. Drivers again? Looking for drivers. Yippee. Alright, I'm gonna do this. And then as soon as it's done, we are gonna get VNC hooked up to this bad boy, and then we can start screen recording that monitor, and it'll be all fun. Of course, watch it not be that easy. Oh boy, was I more right than I ever wanted to be. You see, for some reason, which could either be a combination of the CPU, the RAM, and the hard drive being all old and slow, Linux Mint ended up being the slowest operating system to ever grace this computer.
which makes no sense considering the fact that Linux should always be at least a little bit faster than anything else. It's designed to be lightweight, it's designed to be fast. And to make matters worse, I had to reboot the system multiple times, so that arduously long boot time, that wasn't just a one-off thing, that was an all-off thing. And occasionally, I had to reboot the system multiple times just because the terminal wouldn't open, for some weird reason. And this all took me at least 3 additional hours just to get everything installed. I've seen people install Linux on these things, and yeah, it makes it a little better, but if you don't have a full 6 gigabytes of RAM in that thing, and the CPU upgrade that Apple offered a long time ago for $700, along with an SSD to reduce load times and make everything faster, you're looking at a pretty sluggish experience. Now, granted, this might have just been because I used Linux Mint. Maybe Ubuntu would have worked a lot better, but at this point, I really don't care. I just needed to get the BB Navigator installed on the PS2's hard drive, so I'll take what I can get. That all being said, however, it's time we finally get this done and dealt with. Okay, hours later, we're finally in this. I got the VNC server set so we can properly record this, and now we're not having to look at the stupid Kinect, which ironically we're using as my face cam. So, let's get started on this. So we're gonna want to run this command, git clone that GitHub. And as you can see, it's opened right over there. All right, now that's done, let's get to doing the whole setup thing. Let's click the setup script, run in terminal, I believe. Yes, all right, let's do that. Spacebar. Lovely. Okay, and now it's gonna start doing all its stuff, so back in a bit. There's gonna be a lot of waiting in this, I noticed. Now, one thing I do need to do is edit this. Put, I believe, this here. Yes! Perfect. Now we're ready to go to install all our games. Hopefully I'll only have to ever do this once, since I don't really have a whole lot of games I want to play on PS2. Most of them I've got on physical, media, which, again, optical media bad, but, whatever. There's also some of the games that I would play that are also on either my PS4 or my PS3, so it's kind of all just spread out across the whole friggin' fleet, with, some games also being on my Vita. And what better way to make people cringe than playing God of War 1 on a PS Vita? Oh, then again, that's probably something that people would really like. Yeah, I think I'm really just gonna uninstall Linux Mint after I just get everything synced up to the PS2 drive. And if I need to really update anything, I'm just gonna use Ubuntu on the Switch and just call it, because, Christ. Okay, this is done, I believe, so I think we just have to run the installer. Okay, so we need to do the HGST. Okay, now that it's got the image for PSBBN, it's gonna write it to the hard drive, and then we'll be able to sync all the games over, and then should be fine. And by my calculations, given the transfer rate, it's gonna take anywhere from 20 minutes to 2 hours. I could have been fine with just free HD boot and browser 2.0, but no, I wanted to get fancy with it. Okay, everything is copied over from there to here. We got the hard drive installed. Let's turn this on, see if it works. Probably didn't, in which case, if it doesn't, well, at least let me forget content. Turn on, make sure this is on as well. Oh! I think we're in! We've got the spinning lights. Oh! Yes! We're in! PlayStation PV unit and connected to an PS2. That's fine! Achieving version information. Wouldn't really have to, but alright. Oh boy. Oh, look at that! It's got the old loading animation from the PS3. And we're in! Let's go! Holy crap, this is cool! Oh my god, I've never actually used this! Did all my ROMs copy over? They should've. Oh, dude! That is sick. We got Agent Under Fire, Vodka Heroes. We got everything, bro. It's all here. Ratchet Deadlock, Rez, Rule of Rose, Shadow Hearts Underworld, Star Wars Battlefront 2, Force Unleashed, and of course we got all the Xenosaga games. And we got LPL and You Launch Off. This is awesome! We've done it! We've suffered Linux, and we've come out with a PS2 that looks really freaking cool. I apologize that I don't have like a proper like capture method for this. I have ordered an HDMI solution for this. Alright, well that's it. It's literally 7 p.m. I started this at like 12. I am going to have fun with this, and I'm going to reinstall Mac OS X on this hateful thing, because I really do not like this operating system. If I need to add any new games, I'll just use my Switch with Ubuntu. I really just need the game management thing, and that'll be it. Thank y'all so much for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, you can check out my other stuff by subscribing. I've got a blue sky in the description below, along with my Twitch channel where I play games live. I haven't been doing that recently because things just need to be done around my life, and I want to get around to that. But I promise you, things will be happening there again. And if you also want to check out some of the mods I've made for stuff like Guilty Gear Strive and Smash Bros. Ultimate, my game event is in the description below as well. And you can also check out my Discord where I post things on occasion. But yeah, that'll do it. So until then, thank you all for watching. I'm gonna go fix this computer now. And I'm going to just enjoy having a kick-ass PS2. I will see you guys later.